What is our goal as parents? What exactly are we trying to do? Yes, safeguard our children. I do hear that. Absolutely. But is that all? I mean, if we safeguard our children too much, what is the result? How do our kids end up? How are they going to function in society if we protect them from everything? Now, we know neighbors who seemingly have this approach to their children, and we talk about it all the time, Mrs. and I, and we remark how the children are too cocooned. They're not allowed to do so many things, and they will only play in the backyard, which we think is odd. What's our goal as parents? What are we trying to do? What's the end result? That's what I've talked about a lot in TNP is work backwards. So ask yourself, what do you want the end result to be? If it's a job, be very specific. What's your salary? What's the work rules? How often are you working? Where would you go? How would the job work? And imagine that you get exactly what you're asking for, and then work backwards. In raising children, we should do the same thing. Well, we want someone who is highly functional in society, do we not? We're raising future leaders, teachers, medics, mothers, soldiers, insurance salesmen. Yes, we need those. Maybe not nowadays. Dads, inventors, politicians, medics, nurses, mothers. So in thinking about that and thinking that, hey, we're raising a future member, functioning member, contributing member to society, does it still make sense to send our children to summer camps? Now that's the title, something along those lines, but this subject is much broader. This will be feature length. This is not mindless short form content which infects the world, if you ask me, and people just get to the point where they cannot understand and ingest meaty ideas like this will present to you. Now, long format, probably an hour, maybe more, whatever I feel like making it. And you can put on 1.5 times speed, 1.25 speed. I do that all the time with content that I watch in YouTube as well. Thanks to the donors, paying donors, patreon.com/Nutnfancy. Go there, support my philosophy videos, everything I do. It's a wide form content. You should see and know at this point exactly what I do. Here's some of their comments. I will be reading some of them. Thanks to those who participated, although I didn't leave that commenting video up, or it was actually a post, very long, because I move quick in TNP. What do we want our children to be? How can we get there? And by sending our children to summer camps, and again, that's an overarching term. You could say band camp, cheerleader camp, outings with neighbors, outings with other people that you trust. Do you have to fear that what they would gain in that experience is not enough for perhaps the danger they would face in being molested of some sort? And I have this whole thing printed out. It's from the internet. I'm not going to read it because it's such a downer. It talks about a kid and kids who have been molested at summer camps. I'll read this one line. It says, it's a story that's been repeated again and again across the U.S. Combing through reports dating back to the 1960s, CBS News counted at least 578 victims who were allegedly sexually abused at children's camps. That's just the tip of the iceberg, said the one studier. Yeah, I think it's way, way, way more than that. And that's not including church activities. It would almost seem that our most trusted organizations, venues are no longer to be trusted. And I think a lot of parents find themselves in that predicament. That's what this video is for. We're going to share our points of view with you. We think they're well-founded. We've raised children, and we think there's some truth there, a lot of truth. And I hope it helps you. And then also below in comment, you'll see people commenting, TNPrs, about their experiences. I hope most of them are very positive. I hope we don't read some comments below where their children underwent, abuse of one sort or another when they went out of the presence of mom and dad. But the overarching question is what I said. It's like, what are we trying to do? That's what you need to keep in mind. That's what the wife has to keep in mind. The dad has to keep in mind. And by the way, we're only here for traditional families. That's what we support in the Nutnfancy Project. Christian values is what we support in the Nutnfancy Project, nothing more. The question is, does attendance to, and let's go back to summer camps, does attendance to summer camps help your child? Let's say it's done exactly the way it's advertised to do. Is it advantageous for your daughter, your son, to go to a summer camp? Will it give them confidence and life skills and a whole bunch of other stuff we're going to talk about that maybe makes the experience worthwhile? In order to launch into this subject, I do have a very special guest, rarely seen here in the Nutnfancy Project. It's King Tiger, right in the background, right there, link below. No, I'm just kidding. King Tiger's always there. He's always there, and I'll swap him out with different tanks as we go. Not a lot of decorations here in the warehouse. It's sad. The wind may kick up. You may hear some noise. Show goes on. No, the real special guest. Boys, give a welcome, a warm welcome to my wife of 37 years. That's right, you heard right. The short Mrs. Nutnfancy. This is her actual height. Holy heck. This family-friendly video. Holy heck. Is this your actual height, Mrs. Nutnfancy?
Yes.
You're not kneeling down?
Maybe.
Okay, stool step it. Now, if you don't know, Mrs. Nutnfancy was a bastion of bravery growing up. So brave. All her siblings looked to her.
That's right.
To lead out in every family adventure. Is that true?
No. I'm a chicken.
Quite the opposite. She was terrified, right? Very reticent.
Very shy.
Very shy. Never loved to be the center of attention.
I don't like to be that still.
That's why she's rarely on camera. She doesn't like doing this. Do you like doing this?
Hate it.
To be honest, so do I. I don't like being in front of the camera. But guess what? In order to do the work, I got to be in front of the camera. And this is not AI-produced content. 100% human-produced with all its flaws. You're welcome. Back to her bravery growing up. Her brothers and sisters looked to Mrs. Nutnfancy for how to get it done. Take us to the beach, shall we? So you guys had a family boat, did you not?
Yes.
So behind that family boat, would you water ski?
No.
Would you
Never.
wakeboard?
Never. Nothing. No. I'd ride in the boat.
Well, I'm talking generally as a family. Would you do these activities?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Everybody else in the family water skied.
But you wouldn't, you said.
I would not.
Now, why was that? Absolute terror?
Yeah, I was too scared. So we had a boat, and our best friend's family had a boat, and we'd do a lot of trips together. So they had a daughter that was my best friend, and she was just as scared as me. So we would not water ski. Our parents got it, were excited when they got a pair of youth water skis that were tied together. So, they wouldn't splay out. We wouldn't do the splits because that was a fear also, trying to get up on the skis. She wouldn't do it either. So every year on our family vacation to Palace, we would run around. I would remember running around the beach away from my dad.
Wait. They're chasing you on the beach. Yeah. So little Mrs. Nutnfancy, at that time, Miss Nutnfancy, trying to get up on water skis?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Who's chasing you?
My dad.
I'm putting this on you. She hates it when I do this.
Ah, it's gross.
So? She only knew where that finger had been.
Yeah. It's I already know that.
What? Okay, anyway. Keep going. So your dad's chasing you on the beach?
Yes.
And you're running from him as a little girl?
Yeah, every time. And then he would
Are
stop.
You crying when you're running?
Yes, crying because I didn't want to do it.
Was it the worst experience ever you'd ever been through at that point?
So I hated that. Every time you were excited for the vacation because you liked playing in the sand and just swim. But and go on the boat rides.
You
but
need to be
I
under pressure to get on the skis.
Yes, yeah.
And you knew you did not want to do it.
Nothing they could do would convince me to do it.
Did you ever get up on the skis then?
Never.
So you won that battle.
Yeah.
Did they ever catch you when you're running on the beach?
No, they just gave up. Like,
Give up.
because I was crying and stuff. So
Were you
it's
chunky
like,
at that time?
not in the beginning.
And I say
But-
that she went through a phase of chunkiness in her life, right?
Yeah, I was pretty much a fat kid from 5th grade on.
She has like 1%
Fat.
body fat now, by the way. She works
Fat.
out all the time. Weight
Anyway.
lifts, runs on the treadmill. I'm not making any of that up, by the way. I'll do some overlay.
But I was
Damn. You should be so lucky.
terrified of a lot of things. We'd always go tubing in the winter. Never dared get on a tube and go down the hill. Would play in the snow, but I remember the one time I came close. So close. I was sitting on the tube at the top of the hill. Couldn't do it.
By the way,
And I did regret that a lot.
how old
I'd
were
get in
you
the car
when
and
you
regret.
married me? 20?
20.
So she was 20 when I married her, and a lot of that, believe it or not, was still there in her personality. True?
Yeah.
She was very fearful and just very reticent, didn't like, very sweet nature. She still is. Very reticent, though, to do any adventures. And as her husband, I thought her dad was awesome. I thought your dad did a great job raising his children. I really do. I've spoke about that in other philosophy videos. I think fathers have a huge impact, probably the most impact on how children turn out overall in their performance in society. So her dad did expose him to water activities, four-wheeling, three-wheeling, hunting, shooting, chores, hard work, getting yelled at. Right? Mm-hmm. He didn't hold back, and all the girls were cute, and they were just like, they all were held to the same standard. So that was great. So I felt like with her, I had to really kind of, match my energy, which is very adventurous, right? So even early on in our marriage, we went backpacking. Remember that? Mm-hmm. We did multiple backpacking trips, and she got confident in it, but it was slow. Then we later got the Zodiac, got her out on the kneeboard at the time, and we did other things with the boat. And I think you're way more adventurous now than you ever grew up to be. True?
Yeah.
More confident?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, she can jump
I
on the
dare do
Kubota now, and I can say, hey, go over there and do this task. I might have to help her, like show her how to exchange implements or something, but we need range work done over here, and she'll do it. The question is, your fear as a child, was that founded? Were you correct in that level of fear that you had? Going back now as an adult looking, or do you think it was a little bit irrational that you probably should have jumped on the water skis?
I mean, yeah, I should have tried it, but nothing. I mean, I don't know what would have convinced me. Nothing.
I'm talking about now, though. Right now, knowing that, looking at it as an adult. In other words,
I don't know. I don't know what it would.
let's say you have a
Change.
kid and you bought a big wheel for him. Do they make those? I think they do. And he's too scared to get on the big wheel. Is his fear rational?
No.
No, because what does he see? He sees this much. He sees this much of the pie. You saw that much of the pie when you're running on the beach escaping your father from having to go water skiing. Point being is kids do not have the whole perspective. You and I should. Right?
Yeah.
Did you ever go to a summer camp?
Just girls' camp, church camp. All the
What
time.
was it? How long was it?
Monday through Friday.
So it was kind of a summer camp. What kind of activities did you do
And
there?
like nowadays they go to like cabins and it's all nice. No, like we went and like the cows
Can't.
were ranging and you had to move the cows. You got the cow poop all over. Yeah, and then set up your tent. You had to clean it all.
So you're living in the dirt.
That's what I really, yes.
Is that one reason why you hate tent camping?
Could be.
She hates
I hate it.
tent
so much.
camping. See that travel trailer in the background? That's a lot for Mrs. Nutnfancy because she's a glamper.
Isn't, we don't use it.
Well, currently, correct. But so
I'd rather camp like that.
you went 5 days in a row, multiple times.
Yeah, we'd had to do hikes, there's different levels you had to accomplish every year. When you got to your fourth one, you went on a hike, and then you had to camp overnight, away from the whole group, and anyway, it was a whole deal.
How old were you when you first did
was
that
fine.
first experience?
11.
So did you feel weird when you left mom and dad for the first time?
No, not for that.
Why? Because you had friends already that you knew? Now, that's a difference in your camp, because a lot of the camps, the kids go and they don't know anybody. So they're thrown into a summer camp, and it may not be just 5 days. It's more like weeks long. I couldn't tell you how long. I didn't really research it, but I think a month, maybe even longer, 6 weeks, summer camp, long time. The question is it worth it? Did you like going through that experience?
Yeah, I did like it.
What other activities did you do? So camping in the dirt. How about cooking? Did they teach you to cook at all?
No. No, they didn't, because they cooked for us.
Okay. Still glamping. No, but in most summer camps, they're going to cook for the kids. So, but they should have a cooking class and teach them how to cook something, and a lot do. Okay. Do you feel like that our children were ripped off because they never went to a true summer camp?
A little bit. It would have been nice had there been something different. I mean,
Yeah.
I
did
forgot
too.
they did, when they were in high school, they went to a church.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the
but
college?
That's different.
And they liked that. There was fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of
Right.
fun stuff, like dance but not learning skills.
Okay, so let's go back to Grandpa Nutnfancy, my father. Here's something I never heard from Grandpa Nutnfancy. Hey, pack up your bags. I'm going to send you off to summer camp for 6 weeks. Well, hold on. I'm going to tell you one thing he did do with me along those lines, but it wasn't a summer camp. And he never did that because my dad's approach, which I adopted as well, was I'm in charge of my kids' adventures. I'll teach my kids adventuring. I'll teach them how to shoot. I'll teach them how to hunt, how to field craft, how to repair things, how to change oil, how to do archery, how to swim. That's what my dad did. And I think my dad did a pretty darn good job of it. I mean, the amount of adventures that I had as a child due to my dad's direct leadership are incredible. I wish I could package my childhood up and on into the teen years. I'm talking through, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. That's when I started my own family. Dude, I just think my dad just did the most wonderful job. My mom, on the other hand, was a protective influence. Now, she and my dad were divorced, and so she really, in a lot of my life, was not influenced directly. But she was reticent. She wasn't for any of the adventures that I went on. And I think mothers are kind of that way. She's still that way. And they're always pump the brakes, slow down. That's a little bit dangerous. We don't want our kid, little Billy, to go out and do that. And dads are like, no, forget that. He needs to go. The point being, how my dad approached teaching his children adventure is a great way to do things. And I think a lot of TNPrs have this, that we look at it and go, I don't really need a summer camp. I'm teaching my kids. I'm exposing them. We have property in our family. We go there and we do certain things. We're camping. We're doing that. The thing is that a lot of parents have that goal to do that, but you're talking the time requirement and the energy requirement is up here. Would you agree?
Yeah.
It's way up here. Let's go through some of the activities that a quality summer camp would teach your children. And then trust me, we're going to circle back to the danger aspect, the abuse aspect. We're going to hit that hard, but we're talking about some good things here. Running races. So your kid shows up, he's not an athlete, she's not an athlete, never been exposed to competition. And they go, hey kids, we're going to get you in shape. Everyone's going to start running. And I'm just spitballing here. I don't know if camps do this, but I assume they would. Go watch Meatballs, by the way. Meatballs. Bill Murray, great comedy. It's summer camp, and it is a great insight. It's a comedy, but it shows a great insight to how a quality youth summer camp is ran. And I still think they're ran that way. And there's a lot back east. There's some out west, some in the Midwest. So your kid has to get in shape. They start running, and for the first time ever, they're in a competition. And so maybe 2 weeks later, she's in a relay race, and maybe she does well, maybe she does poorly, but she competes, and she did it. And that really is the beauty of summer camp, or something like it, is participation. Participation is such an important thing in life. I'm going to tie it in here before we end. How about this? Model rockets. They'll fire off model rockets. They'll have the kids build model rockets and go fire them off. Did I do that with my children?
Yep.
I did it. But a lot of parents don't. Time. Not really that much money, but you have to have a good place to do it. But I played model rockets with my kids a lot. Mountain biking, canoe races, archery, silly relays. Like, what's a silly relay? Like the egg, where you transfer the egg under your chin or something like that? Or how about, what's the burlap sack game?
Potato sack race.
Potato sack race. Silly relays. Talent shows. Would you have done a talent show at that age?
There's no way. There's no way I would. I played the piano. I was forced to play the piano.
She's a great pianist still to this day.
I had to practice an hour every day.
Yeah.
Growing up. And my parents drove me an hour and a half for lessons every single week. Because my sister, of course, she was 2 years older than me, so she was really, really good. There was nobody in our small town that was good enough to teach her, and I just had to follow suit. I had to play for the choir in 8th and 9th grade. Hated it. Everyone else had to try out for that position, but since my sister was so good, I had to do it too, and I hated playing in front of people.
You got to understand, we're not talking, for Mrs. Nutnfancy, this is almost debilitating shyness. I'm not making that up. That to be in front of people and talking is just like the worst fear she ever has. I mean, that she's here doing this right now shows you how far she's come. Seriously.
Yeah.
But if you play the piano, let's say you went to a 4-week summer camp and they go, hey, she plays the piano. You wouldn't have got up there and played the piano with friends supporting you?
Yeah.
That's a talent.
If I had something, yes.
You would have done it.
I did.
Guarantee
Like
you.
in 8th grade, there was a talent show, and there were 2 girls that needed somebody to play. So I did play for them.
Now,
shaking, terrified, but I did it.
Here's another thing a quality summer camp does. Quality parents do this. They find the good things about the children. Mm-hmm. Every child has unique talents and unique gifts. And they may know it, maybe they don't know it, but a good camp counselor will really get to know and love that child in a wholesome way and find out, how do I get this child to the next level? How do I get him or her out of their shell and to go to the next level? These activities that I'm listing, are they for fun? Yeah, they're for fun. They're really about developing the capabilities of the child in confidence in themselves, knowing that they can overcome obstacles, having to socialize, maybe for the first time ever, because so many of them are living like this, right? Mm-hmm. Especially the girls. Swipe, 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 swipe. No social skills whatsoever. They're social retards. That's what a lot of parents are raising. And maybe they know it, maybe they don't. But yeah. So talent show where maybe a camp counselor goes to little Billy and goes, you know what, you're funny. You have a really great sense of humor. Let me help you write a skit, and you'll be in that skit. And how do you think little Billy will feel after he leaves the stage at the camp talent show and everyone's just standing ovation because he's so funny? That they love her piano. She's a beautiful player. That there's an appreciation for that kid's talent where maybe there was no appreciation at all. That maybe they were considered rejects of society, and yet they had this amazing talent that was heretofore undiscovered. Another huge benefit to the summer camp or like experience. Could be a church camp, could be a cheerleader camp. There could be a lot of ways that could be brought out. But in order to do that, you have to have a quality organization. And I would say, would you agree with this, a God-based organization that really sees your child as a son or daughter of God, and they're treated accordingly. And I highly recommend, if you do use a summer camp, I wouldn't say exclusively, there's some ones that are not, but a Christian summer camp might be the way to go. Maybe Bible study is a part of that. Maybe talking about Christ is a part of that. And you have that strong foundation of morality there. I'm not saying that's going to guarantee you anything as far as what we'll talk about later, but chances are better. Other things they would do, rope courses. What if you were a little girl and I had a rope that went across 75 feet across a river that was flowing? I said, you have to go hand over hand. There's 2 ropes. One you walk on, the other one, which you're clipped to with a carabiner, you have to go hand over hand and cross to the other side. Would you have done it?
No. No. I was in college. I worked.
Would I? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was like, yeah,
No.
I'm down. Clip me in. I'll go unclipped because it's water. I'll fall in the water. That's my personality, though. That's how I was born. She wasn't born that way. We're all born the way we are. As parents, what you do is you can vary your children's personality. Back me up on this. About 20%. You can go 20% that way and 20% this way, but they're generally who they are. You cannot change your child. And you parents typing right now going, that's right, I've tried. My kid's very shy, like she was. Maybe they're an athlete. Maybe they're gifted. Maybe they will never shut up. They're always talking about, they monopolize every conversation. You take Susie aside and say, listen, you need to shut up. You talk too much. And she won't. She is who she is.
Yeah.
They are who you are. But you can't, what we're talking about is that 20%. We're talking about an experience that will take them to the 20% to improve a area of their life that needs improving. So you would not have crossed that river on the rope course.
No.
What if you had made two very close friends and they are just like you? They also were super shy. They didn't like being in the spotlight. Let's say one of them was heavy set and she's terrified, but she clips in, she goes hand over hand. The camp counselors, everybody else is cheering on. She makes it to the other side. Would you have been empowered to follow her?
Yeah, I would.
Boom. Peer pressure in a good way. Welcome to the camp experience. Peer pressure in a good way. We often think of peer pressure as, oh, it's so bad. You know, they're going to get into drugs. Yes, that does exist. It will always exist. It always has existed. But in a youth adventure experience, you can, and again, led by awesome camp counselors. And most of these guys and gals are young. Like they might be 19, they might be 20 themselves. I guarantee you most of them went through that camp experience as well. They know how it works. They've seen a lot of different personalities. They've seen a lot of kids that will not come out of their shells. They have techniques to bring them out of their shells, activities to bring them out of their shells. Trust the experience in that respect. How would you have felt when you got to the other side? You did it, and everyone's cheering you.
Good. Yeah, it would be confidence booster.
Boom. What are we trying to do as parents? We are trying to raise confident, functioning, independent members of society, what our world lacks right now. That's one reason we're so bad off as a society, especially in the United States, but the whole Western culture is that way, is the destruction, attack on traditional families, and these very things that we're discussing in this feature-length Nutnfancy Philosophy video. The very things are under attack and have been for quite some time. But now she's confident. Hey, I overcame that river that one time. Here I am, broke down in the middle of nowhere. My husband's in the Air Force. I need to change a tire. He told me kind of how to do it. He's gone. He's on a deployment. Maybe you have the confidence then to change the tire.
Yeah, because there was a lot of things in my life, though I'm shy about a lot of things, but there's other things where I'm like, I can do it. I can do hard stuff, right? Like, I think I've told this before when I was 14 years old.
Yeah. That is true.
I was like,
have that.
I'm like, I don't need a man. I had that mentality for a long time. But I do need a man.
And we're representing her as like this super shy flower that finally bloomed, but inside of Mrs. Nutnfancy is a warrior. I don't want to get off subject, but like, I shouldn't even brought this up. When we lost our two kids, late term pregnancy, I saw how she dealt with it. Unreal bravery, unreal. So don't think that she's some wallflower. That she is a warrior inside. It's to her core. But as a new husband, I was trying to bring that out of her, and I think I did. I think she's kind of a warrior, maybe to a little bit too high of a level these days, but that's okay. Still awesome. Other activities, survival skills. Whose dad taught them survival skills? A lot. Grandpa Nutnfancy taught me all the time. All the stuff you see me model on camera, not all of it, but I would say most of it I learned from Grandpa Nutnfancy. Calmness in the out of doors, ability to think clearly, wild food gathering, shooting animals, killing animals, eating animals. I got a lot of that from my friends in Alabama too. But I think a lot of dads have in their minds, at least squared away based fathers, that, hey, I need to teach my children survival skills. But then life gets busy, work is busy, things are breaking, bills are rolling in, and time goes by. Next thing you know, your kid's graduating from college and you never taught them anything in survival skills. I'm going to shout out Bravo. He goes, you know me, Nutton, young dude, 22, just getting by here in Commie, Canada. Been watching since the start of the project. I have plans of having a family in the future and very interested in hearing about this topic. Looking forward to seeing you in the video drop. Bravo from Canada. Thank you, bro. He's been with us for quite some time. Bravo, did your dad teach you survival skills? Answer and comment. We'll look to your comment. I'm interested to know. A lot don't. Now, someone who's not in TNP, they look up, oh, survival skills. Oh, what are you, some prepper? Well, yeah, to a degree. But the other more important side is I can basically handle most situations. And having someone like that around when things go south is very important. Whether it's a medical situation, go watch my ancient video, Story of First Aid, a situation like that, when the person was decapitated in an automobile wreck in the canyon. I was 18 at the time, and I had to handle that. First aid situations, fixing stuff. Like, I posted a video on Patreon where Wolfman and I just fixed his throttle cable to his ancient Kobelco side digging excavator. Yeah, is that a survival skill? Yeah, it is. It's being able to look at something, what do I have to fix it with? And keep it going. Problem solving skills, sheltercraft, firecraft, all that stuff rolls into that. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that your summer camp is going to teach your dudes how to be a Bear Grylls. They're not. But they're going to have some exposure to it, and maybe it kindles an interest in the child, daughter or son, where they go, I really like this aspect of camp. I want to learn more, and they can springboard off that experience and go do more. And again, as parents, we want our children to be ready, prepared, because we're not always going to be here. They're going to be alone soon enough. Other activities, campouts. Now you be, campouts in summer camp. What? The whole thing is a campout. Well, not really. I think they assign them cabins, right? Except you guys are living in the dirt. A lot of summer camps will be assigned. Go watch Meatballs, the movie again. It shows a good representation. You're living in a cabin with other kids, and a counselor is assigned to that cabin to make sure if there's no weird stuff going on there. They visit, they help the kids, they prepare them for all the activities coming up. They're the advisors and the disciplinarians. So if someone gets out of hand, they have a whole way they discipline the children, which probably works. Also an important part of the camp experience, showing your children that there are repercussions and they won't have the favoritism of mommy and daddy anymore. They'll be treated fairly, and if they've done something wrong, they got to pay the price. But from that experience, also, what do you know? It's also in the movie, go watch it, they take the kids out into the woods and in a tent, and they camp maybe in a canoe. They paddle across the lake, and they camp in a different location, teaching the kids to set up camp, make a campfire, cook over the camp, and probably the most important part of all, tell stories. Now, I paused there for dramatic effect for a very good reason. Let me ask my wife, do I have good stories?
Yeah.
How many do I have?
Endless.
Endless. How do I have endless stories? And a lot of them are here on camera. Go watch the videos. A lot of them are in the reviews. Go watch the reviews. Because I have experienced life. I have grabbed life by its ball sack and twisted it. Did you like that one? Mm-hmm. That's what you need to do. You need to experience life. What kind of life are kids experiencing when they're glued to their video controller, their cell phones, their iPads, their computer screens? And literally that's all they do. They go to school. They might have a chore or two, but they're on the screen. What kind of stories? Let's just concentrate on stories. What kind of stories are they going to have? When I asked what do we want for our children, another part of that is we want our children to be interesting as adults. Right? You ever met someone boring that as soon as they start talking to you, you want to leave? I have. I do every week. I was like, dang, man, I cannot even, I'm going to sleep listening to this dude. You want an interesting person, and what makes an interesting person are interesting experiences. Crossing a river on a rope swing and maybe falling off. Maybe falling off and you fall into the river and have to swim to the bank and everyone's making fun of you or laughing at you. That's a good story. Some of our best stories are when we have failed. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. Think about a story when I'm talking about a story where you failed and it was super embarrassing. She may or may not deliver. I don't know.
No.
This is kind of along those lines. Here's what we used to do. Actually, is when I was dating her. So I take my friend and I, and we would go to the trestle over Provo River up Provo Canyon, and I built this board that I put a rope on the trestle, and we would surf on the board. Remember that? Mm. I may have a picture, maybe I don't. And we would surf on the board, and that was a rush. And the river was like at high stage then, like huge snow melt. So when you came off the board, it was a challenge to get to the bank within, like, I'm not making this up, within 200 yards. That's like with a good swimmer. That's how strong the current was. And good stories from that alone. We caught a huge snake. I remember that. I caught a huge bull snake, I think. I cut my leg. Bill cut his leg. We were bleeding. We were jumping in the trestle, swimming across. I mean, I could do a whole video on our trestle experiences. Now, I wasn't a kid at the time, but it was that living and stories. Because what stories do, and we're going to go back to the camp experience, but this is where the storytelling starts, the story building starts, is it allows you to relate to a lot of people. My stories, like, I can talk to anyone of any race, of any ethnic background, of any social experience, of any economic experience, and I can relate to that person. Because I've been through those phases in my own life. I grew up pretty damn poor in Alabama when I was with my mom. I was poor. I've gone catfishing, shooting guns, exploding grenades. I never told you that story? Okay, real quick. My neighbor was a medic. I think he was a medic in Vietnam, and word had it that he had come back with a bunch of ordnance from Vietnam. And so I was on my bike, and I went into his garage one day, and I stole a grenade. He had a grenade there. I didn't really know what grenades were then, and so I think I stole like 3 of them. I know I stole. Sorry, it happened. So I think Paul and I went up. We went up to the foothills, and it turned out to be a tear gas grenade, not a real grenade. But we hucked this grenade and exploded and made a real huge cloud. Do you remember this?
No.
I've never told you this story. It exploded and made this huge cloud, and my brother says, I dare you to go in and breathe in it. I was like, wanting to be, the little brother respected by his friends and him. I went and I took a huge breath. OMG. OMG. I've never experienced discomfort like that to this day. That's including my knee surgeries. Dude, it was tear gas. Like every mucous membrane in my head just exploded. Snot, tears, sneezing, and it went on for half an hour. It was a tear gas grenade from Vietnam. Good story. Kind of like that. Now, I'm not recommending you go pilfer through your neighbor's things in the garage looking for grenades and other high explosives, although you may never know what you'll find there. No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying get out and live. And so when your kid goes to that camp and they're sitting around the camp and they're hearing other people's stories, it gets them thinking. Maybe it gets them thinking, I need to come off the computer screen. Maybe I need to get out and do some living like this person has done. Not only that, they're going to hear some great ghost stories, and everybody should have great ghost stories to tell. Again, we want interesting adults. Interesting adults start learning in their childhood, so you're interesting later. You know how many people don't know how to tell a story? Most. Don't have any stories to tell? Most. Don't let your kid be that way. And I guarantee you, in that camping experience, or even around the campfires at summer camp, there's going to be some great camp counselors that know how to tell stories, that have good stories. Case in point is like when I was here's again my life experiences. I was a lift operator. I didn't start as a lift operator at Sundance in Utah. I made videos about it many years ago. I started off as a dishwasher, worked up to a busboy, and then the next season I was like, this is horrible. I may have done that for 2 seasons. And I was like, I want to be on the slope as a lift operator. They did not hire me as a lift operator. Long story. As a parking lot attendant. And then after much work, I finally got on the lift and I was a lift operator. Those dudes that worked the lifts, I found out, were interesting dudes and dudettes. You talk about stories. Damn, they do some living. Because these guys, they don't really care about money. They don't care about things. They don't have anything. They live for adventure. So in the wintertime, they're working on the resort. In the summertime, they're guiding down the Colorado River. Some were parachutists. Nowadays, it'd be base jumping. Snowboarders, just super adventurous dudes. And I just listened to their stories, and they were hilarious. Hilarious, dude. You want to hear one story?
So you tried to make your own.
I did make my own.
I know. Making out in the ski shack.
I did
hey,
that.
come in.
I would make out with chicks who came up on midway lift and they'd get off. And I had the long hair, not baldish like I am now. And they come in and I'd say, hey, come in and you can get warm with me. And I pop some popcorn. Like an hour later, we're totally making out in the shack. True. Robert Redford came up, dude. No, I didn't make out with him. No, he came up and he got off and he saw I was working Mandan, I want to say, midway Mandan. He goes, it looks warm in there. Can I warm my hands? I said, yeah, come on in. And Robert Redford stayed with me for 10 minutes just shooting the crap with me. I enjoyed him. I thought he was awesome back then. He was cool, down to earth. It was his resort back then. You want to make stories, and I guarantee you those camp counselors are going to springboard your kids on how to tell a good story, telling their own stories, their river guiding stories, embarrassing stories where they thought that, they were going to die of embarrassment, like her. That might be one of the most important aspects of summer camp right there. And ghost stories. Really scary, well-told ghost stories around a campfire, scaring the living crap out of everybody. Awesome. Awesome. You need to know. Now, I'm not saying you have to go to summer camp to learn this, but it happens there a lot. And as a mom and dad, if you're going to say, hey, I don't trust my kids to go to a summer camp experience, you're going to have to fill in. You're going to have to be the storyteller. You're going to have lived a life worth stories. And if you get nothing else out of this video, get that look at your life right now and ask yourself, is my life worth recounting right now? Am I doing enough adventure in my life where I have something to talk about? Do I do adventure every week?
Every day.
Boom, baby. Boom. So when we go to Wyoming, she's going in the car. I was like, yeah, I'll follow you in the motorcycle. She's like, well, I got the car. I was like, I know. I'm going to ride the bike, dude.
Yeah.
There's a bike I have to review anyhow, so I need to get miles on it. I need to do a PR, proficiency ride. Look for ways to put adventure, underscore that word, inject adventure into your life. There's a lot of ways to do it. I model many. If nothing else, go get one of those tents I've reviewed, go set it up in a remote place, and go take a nap and get away from the damn wife. I can't believe I'm so
Maybe she wants to get away from you too.
Well, she can go get her own tent and go set up. She'll never do that. By the way, do you remember when we were camping in the San Juan Islands? There on, was it San Juan Island? It's basically tree and that dude.
That's why I freaking hate camping.
I was asleep. I had the Glock 19 and a dude came and looked her right. Didn't he?
It was Perry. It was the mesh in the top of the tent.
Looked in the tent right at you.
He was looking. Yeah, I was like, holy shit. Like, I hated it.
It's okay.
Wake up.
You woke me up, and then what'd I do?
Ran out with the gun. We actually in a little campground at the time, and chased him down, and he was with a big group, but who knows what he was doing, peering into tits and stuff. He had
3 rounds fired, problem solved. No rounds fired. Thank heavens. I'm so glad there weren't, but I don't know why I threw that in, but she hates tent camping.
I can't sleep.
So we hit campouts pretty good. Also, they're going to learn organization in that camping experience, how to pack things, how to be efficient, not taking the kitchen sink. You don't need this. You don't need that. The camp counselors will pare them down. Listen, we're only going for a night, 2 nights. This is what you need. We're going to be in the canoe. Trust me on this. And that's a big life skill because it will transfer into traveling. Because once they travel, even in the airline, they'll go, I remember camping and there's a lot of things I thought I needed. I'm not taking them. stories are huge, though. Ghost stories. How about horseback riding? Did you horseback ride growing up?
No.
Would you have been scared to do so? I don't think you're scared of livestock,
No.
are you?
No.
Well, anyways, is that a life skill? No, it's an overcoming fear skill. There are children that are fearful of large animals. And so a lot of times they'll put on an inflation vest, like a hit air vest, a helmet, and they teach the kids a horseback ride, or at least ride ponies or something like that at camp. It's all wholesome. It's all good. Mud wars. They used to do this in the 70s. I don't know if they do it anymore. They would put goggles on the kids, and they would take them to the mud bank, and they would just be throwing mud at each other. How fun. How wholesome. Great story. And once again, you might have, maybe your little girl's like, she's so prissy. Oh, I can't get dirty. My fingernails are dirty. Oh my gosh, gross. She goes into a mud war, and she comes out of that experience after an hour throwing mud, and then she washes off and looks at herself, I'm still here. Maybe she overcomes some of her phobias to a small extent. All these are great activities. And another one, and I'm not even hitting all of them, journaling. So a good camp will say, listen, it is mandatory that starting today, you are going to keep a journal. Here's your little notebook. Boop. Here's your little pen. Boop. The camp counselors will be checking. If you do not journal, you're going to have a punishment of some sort. Maybe you don't get ice cream at dinner. Maybe it's not going to be a huge punishment, but they're encouraging the children to write down their thoughts as they progress, as they learn, as they change. Very, very good. Who journals to this day, every day? Who between us? Who's done it for over 30 years? Every day since 1994, I've journaled. And I continue to do so. Now it's on a laptop, so I'm interjecting photos. I can't show them to you because, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not releasing that to the public. But as I journal, I go back to what photos am I going to put in this week? Am I just going to put in a photo of me mowing the lawn? Am I just going to put a photo of me sitting?
Doesn't mow the lawn.
She does. Am I going to put a photo of me sitting on the toilet, which happens a lot? No. Be adventurous. Go do something. That's the way I live my life. Your journal is an anchor to your life because you have to be truthful to your journal. You cannot lie to your journal, and I hope the camp counselors really drive that home. Do not lie to your journal, because if you lie to your journal, you lie to yourself. You never want to lie to yourself. It's going to be bad. So journal. And I would say even right now after watching this video, start journaling. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. Start with paper. I started with calendars, like soccer mom calendars or just regular calendars. And just write in that square every day what you did. You'll learn to pare it down and just talk about the important things. There's no limit or requirement for you to say a lot of things. And a lot of people think when they journal, well, I got to go page after page. No, you don't. If you feel the need, you can. But you don't have to. It can be just one paragraph. This is what I did today. I was sad today. I was happy today. I was elated today. My wife and I did this today. And then this is my thoughts. When I go to heaven, this is kind of what I want to happen. I wonder what God thinks of me. Am I forgiven by God? Heavy subjects can be in your journal as well. Really wholesome. Journaling. Now, what we've been doing, let me see where I'm at. This is feature length. As promised. Dudes love this. Quality viewers love what we're doing right here. They love it. If a guy clicks on the video, a gal clicks on the video, oh, I got better things to do. My answer is no, you don't. You don't. You're going to waste a lot of time today. This is not a waste of time. You're investing time by listening to this from start to finish. You will find information here that will be beneficial to you, no matter who you are. I really think God preserves TNP from year to year for videos like this and gives me the donor base that promotes me to do this. To the comments as we transition, Jason Burson says, he's a paying donor. Both my sons went to scout camp this summer. One is going to Nation Youth Leadership Training during Turkey Camp. The youth at summer camp build lifelong connections and get a touch of independence and responsibility in a safe place to fail. Wow, that's a really good thing he said. A safe place to fail. Well said, Jason. That, yeah, they're going to be adventurous, but the camp counselors have safety protocols in place. They're not going to let your kid drown. They're not going to let them fall and get hurt. Your kid will think it's going to be the end of the world crossing that river on the road, but trust me, they know what they're doing. Are there exceptions? There's always exceptions, but most camps that survive year after year are really good. They went to Hood Scout Reservation, shot guns and bows, didn't even talk about gun shooting, air gun shooting, zip lines, rope courses, learned to canoe, sailboat, how to recover from flipping in deep water, and then tried to flip each other over again to recover. They had a blast. Camp medic was a National Guard guy doing his yearly time, and the gun range officer was an actual doctor. He said, solid inclement weather plans. Read these if you would, please. Don't read Bravos because we hit. Read that one, and that one. Starting with that one, please.
These days, the way so many places fail to safeguard, I just don't know. It would be a tough sell if I had kids in that range, in that age range today.
Okay, we're going to come back to that. Let's get through, and then that one.
My son is currently at a Christian summer camp for his first time at 15. I'll let you know his AAR when he gets home Friday.
Okay, read their screen name too.
WPSPSS.
And the other one was Aquanaut. Okay, this one.
Garage Gym. My girls outgrew summer camp 25 years ago, but even back then I interviewed the head campers, reviewed the curriculum, got references from those that had positive things to say and those that had negative things to say about the experience. If I am to entrust my daughters to someone, someplace, somewhere, and that takes them out of my guidance and protection, I got to feel right about it.
Awesome. And Jay Fire says, I agree. Gilbert Cusdy Jr.
I have a 6-year-old and a 2-month-old, and I was just pondering this. Looking forward to the video.
I hope I deliver for you, Gilbert. Okay, hit those, please.
Max MFS. Absolutely. My wife and I each went to old school 1921 and 1902 rustic summer sleepaway camps. Our son and twin daughters all go to a month of camp. My son also goes to 1 week of Boy Scout camp with his troop every year. I view sleepaway camp as a necessary rite of passage. The more rustic, the better. They need to learn to function on their own, to navigate socially, and to be comfortable in the woods. Of course, everyone is talking about Camp Mystic. We live in Atlanta, and people still know people who lost children. It is very sad, but bad things can happen every day, and it's better that our kids have the experience and the opportunity to spread their wings.
That one's swept away, right? In the storms. Okay, very sad. Keep going.
Caleb Gibbs. I live an hour and a half from where the flooding happened, and my family has property downstream from where the flooding happened. Unfortunately, flooding happens. Major floods have happened on the Guadalupe for years.
Okay, and that's a good comment. For time, we got to stick to the camp stuff. Hit that.
J Fire. I'm a father of girls, so the only way my kids would go is if I was a chaperone so that I could monitor the activities as well as the other adults running the camp. It's hard to really trust anyone anymore.
Keep going. Charles New, what's up, bro?
My grandsons are currently in a survival camp outside of Denver and loving it. They are so excited to go camping and show off their new skills. Cool.
Right here.
Aquanaut.
Oh, we already did that one.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so that's just a snippet of insight to paying donors in the Patreon environment. Again, I'll see you there. That one said, I'm a father of girls. The only way I would go is if I was a chaperone. Mrs. Nutnfancy, what do you have to say? Okay, let's set a situation. So her sister has girls. All the girls are adorable. We're like cheerleader quality, adorable girls. She never sent them to summer camp ever, did they?
Yeah, well, girls' camp thing.
Cheerleader
just church camp, yeah.
Okay, so I tell you that because we have that in our family. I think both. Let's be honest here, though. Both boys and girls are at risk for abuse. Would you say that?
Yes.
I don't think one is more safer than the other. I think if you have a very adorable, cute girl, I think maybe they're more at risk. And that's the thing. So
it depends on personalities too. I mean, they look for the shy, quiet ones. I think the predators know who to target.
Slow to speak up. Easily manipulated. Let's say I'm a father and I have 3 adorable teenage girls, not teenage, but girls of all ages. Would I send them to summer camp? Because this is what I'm thinking, this is what you're thinking, this is what you're thinking, is that I have to weigh everything we've talked about against the ever-present sexual predator that seems to crop up in the most unlikely places and that damaging my child for life through that experience. One of our TNPrs said, hey, I vet my camps very well, and that was way back when. That's exactly what I would do. I would go find probably a Christian camp or something, a camp to that level that I could trust, and then I just researched the heck out of it. I talked to former camp goers in previous seasons. Hey, what did you think about this? I'd find out who the camp counselors are, find out their backgrounds. I'd find out the track record. I look at Google reviews, Yelp reviews. There's a lot of information you can find out about a camp to find out its safety. So in answering that question, my answer is yes, I would still send my girls after having vetted and probably giving them a piece of technology to call me if dad needs to show up with the Glocks. I shit you not. Now, a lot of camps I think will probably confiscate the cell phone, right? They'll take your cell phone away, which they should, but and they may go through their bags and make sure they don't have anything else, but there's another, so you can get like a messenger from Garmin. It'll send out a signal, an alert signal to be rescued. There's technology you could incorporate for that, is my point. Very compact, very unobtrusive. It's not used for anything else but calling dad and mom. Hey, I'm in a situation here. I don't know what to say, and come help me. That is an option. But what we want to do as parents is we want to protect, but not imprison. Because oftentimes our levels of protection become a prison, because everything we've discussed, all those wonderful experiences, and we've only given you a snippet in this video. There's many, 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 many more that your kids can have. They won't necessarily have. Maybe they hate camp. Maybe they come back and they go, it absolutely sucks. It rained the whole time we were doing coloring books in the cabin all day. Could happen. But most camps are pretty good. And most kids, when they come back from a camp experience, are stoked. And they're like, I cannot wait to go next year. Just research it. Do your due diligence. Also, involve God. Pray about it. Would you agree with that? Mm-hmm. Do you believe God would give you an influence, whether it's good or not? Yes. Yes, you can get that. So say, hey, do all your research. Don't have God do all your work for you. But after you've done your research, maybe have 3 camps and go, hey, which of these camps would be best for my children? Pray about it. Your wife prays about it. And during that day, you don't listen to loud music. You just create a situation where you have the Holy Ghost that can help you. I guarantee you, I promise you, at the end of that day, you'll have an experience where you will know which camp to take your children to, and probably your wife's answer will be the same. So involve God, involve prayer. That is not weird. If you think it's weird, you're losing out in life, because God should be part of everything you do in life. I would never be where I'm at if it wasn't for Heavenly Father. True or false?
True.
She wouldn't be where she is right now. In her level of health with her rheumatoid arthritis, it is an absolute miracle. And I testify to you now, it's a miracle that Mrs. Nutnfancy right now is as active and as in good health as she is right now with the situation that she had. She was prostrate on the sofa. She could not function. I gave her blessings so she could start functioning. True or false?
True.
How long ago was that? 10 years ago?
14.
14 years ago. And look at her now. Pilates, wall slides,
But I have
weightlifting.
don't forget,
I'm not kidding.
I have a blood clotting disorder too, where I'm a blood clots.
She does.
So it's not just one
Anticardiolipid
thing.
syndrome plus RA, and here she is. Point being is that God the Father is in our lives. We just have to ask him for his help, and we have to do our part too. Again, just don't hand the entire package to him. Say, hey, here's all this stuff. I mean, what do I do? You don't want your kids to do that to you. You want them to work. There's a way to find out the right answer for camp counseling. In our comments here too, we heard the sentiment, it's good for your children to get out away from mom and dad. We cannot overemphasize how important that is. And I honestly think as a father, even though I was adventurous, I felt like I did a pretty good job teaching my kids all the stuff we've been talking about. I still feel like that we shortchanged our kids by not sending them to summer camp. Like a real summer camp. Like 4 weeks, 5 weeks away summer camp. We should have done that for everything we discussed. And going away from mom and dad, your family's dynamic. And by that, I mean, there's a certain way your family thinks. There's a certain way your family acts. And now your kid's taken out of that social environment, thrust into a completely alien social environment, and they either sink or swim socially. They have to learn how to get along with people. They have to learn how to make compromises. Maybe you have a child that does not compromise at all. And trust me, they're going to learn to compromise. They have to learn to meet standards. They have to learn to be accountable. Maybe at your house, for whatever reason, whoever's raising them, especially if it's a grandparent, there's no accountability there. They're going to make new friends there. They're going to make friends who are going through what they're going through. And that is just a different growing experience. It's not comfortable at first, but then they learn to get confident as they go through all these activities. They meet these friends. They have disagreements, maybe even fights with other kids. That's all healthy. That's part of life. They learn to be resilient. They learn to have grit. They learn how to compete in life. That's one thing I don't think my boys really learned how to do is compete, even though they were both in Little League sports.
Not very competitive.
They're not competitive, and it's
But I'm
not
not.
served them well.
They get it from me.
I tried to raise them that way. It just didn't work. I tried. How about this? And we haven't mentioned this yet, appreciation for nature. Again, as parents, we think we raised our boys. I don't think it's shortchanged at all for that. They love nature. They appreciate nature. But maybe your children live in an urban environment, a city environment. You just don't have the wherewithal, the schedule capability to go out to expose them to deer, wildlife, baby foxes. Maybe they have a petting zoo or they go visit a petting zoo and they get interaction with nature. That has been proven in psychological studies. I've mentioned this before, of making very well-rounded, empathetic human beings. They have determined that some of the murders in life, they grew up without having an attachment to nature. And sad in every respect. But an appreciation for nature, which you see in TNP all the time. I post on it all the time. Very important. Creative expression. That they're going to have an opportunity to maybe do artwork. They're an artist. They never knew this. Maybe they play the piano. Maybe they act. Maybe they do these interesting things that they just never had the capability or actually just the environment to do it. And they learn how to lead. A lot of these groups we've talked about, they'll rotate leaders. So they're like, hey, for the mud fight, Miss Nutnfancy, you're in charge of the mud fight for the A group. Now I'm saying mud fight. So let's say it's the potato sack race. And so every kid's going to have a chance to be a leader, make mistakes leading, learn. The camp counselor will take them aside. Okay, maybe next time we do this better. Maybe you should use this person, and just really help develop those leadership skills. And overall, they just find a voice away from home. Healthy. And they get that mental health boost and that confidence when they come back 5 weeks later and go, man, I really did something this summer. I have a lot to talk about when I go back to the school year, getting back to the stories. You go through all that, you think you're going to be a boring person? Just if you talk about what happened at camp. Teacher said, they used to do this in movies. I don't know if they still do it. They, hey, tell us what you did last summer. Little Susie goes, oh, I got something. I said, yes, Susie, come up to the front of the class. And by the way, she was a shy one. She goes, I was crossing this rope swing, this rope across the river. I fell into the river. My friend said there's a crocodile in the river, and I was like swimming like crazy because I didn't want to get eaten by the crocodile. Turns out there wasn't. But I made it to the other side, and next time I did it, and everyone was clapping for me. I was so happy. And then she talks about campfire experiences, cooking on the campfire, stories, ghost stories, mud fights, air gun shooting, archery shooting, horseback riding. Do I think your kid should go to camp nowadays? Absolutely is the answer. Do you agree?
Yes.
With the caveat, the asterisk, as you as good parents, mom and dad, you vet it, you research it, you give them technology to call you in an emergency if possible. But look at everything you are going to deny your children if you don't allow them to separate from your presence. Look at God. What did God do? Does God love us as his children? Yes, he does. More than we know, he loves his children. But what did he do? He goes, you know what? You're going to separate from me for a time. Because there are lessons that you have to learn in a mortal world, and that's where we are. And after that experience, you can come back to me. But you're not going to be in my presence forever. Your infants, your children, there's so many things you need to learn, to experience. A lot of them good, some of them very bad. But they all work to develop your character as a loving, capable, independent, faithful human being. And that's why we go through what we go through. If you go through your day and go, why is this day so crappy? That's why. You're learning, you're growing, you have horrible things compared to awesome things. These opposites are necessary in our life. They're necessary in camp as well. And what do you know? Right at an hour 5.
Hey.
Mrs. Nutnfancy, a rare appearance, ladies and gentlemen of the project. We have basically 3 ladies, 4 with her. But dudes, great to have you on camera.
Yeah.
Glad that you're my life partner. I love my wife. Do I take care of you?
Most days, yes.
Do I really take care of you?
Yep.
I do. That's my job as a husband, to take care of her all the time. Yeah. Who's the head of the household? I am, but she's my very strong, sometimes too strong co-pilot. But that's what I wanted, right? Did I tell you that when we got together?
Yep.
I said, hey, I'm a strong personality. You need to have a backbone. True or false?
True.
I was like, we're going to go on the road as an Air Force couple, and you're going to have to get it done during an entire Air Force career. And she did. She earned every right to be an Air Force wife, taking care of the kids, the bills, everything that broke, fixing tires, repairing water heaters, furnaces, all that. True or false?
True.
We are done, boys. Thank you so much. What a great video. Very happy to have had this opportunity with my wife to be in front of you here in the warehouse. Wind hasn't been too bad. Come again real soon. Come again. I'm still primarily a reviewer, but I interject these philosophy videos in occasionally. And you'll be surprised at the subjects that I cover. I don't know even how I came across this subject. It just came to me. Maybe it's appropriate. We're kind of deep in the summer now, so it might be late, but maybe for next year you can start planning for your kids. But I wish you all the best. She wishes you all the best in your family, happiness, health, safety, and prosperity. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.